Hello and welcome to all the men and women of the West. I'm Joe, and before we start, remember to check out my new novel, Victor Tempestson, a fantasy horror novel written in a more Conradian style. And it's the first of many, I hope. It's available now on Kindle, so do check it out. But anyways, let's get on with this monastic chivalry in literature. This article is one that was inspired by a certain scene in Pillars of the Earth when Prior Philip goes to confront Waleran. The latter tried to tempt him to his side, and Philip prefers not to give in, as he doesn't want to turn his back on his faith in favor of greed. Now, this after Waleran has attempted to break Philip, has stolen from him, has had his best friend murdered, that is to say Tom Builder, and has also stolen the faith others have in him. The funny thing about Follett is that he's an atheist and an inveterate critic of the clergy, but a profound lover of cathedrals, a man who wept bitterly at the burning of Notre Dame, and who felt that it had to cut across all borders in politics, and who was to also write a monograph about cathedrals and their history. Though not all of his works are great, he has happened upon one major idea of some importance: monastic chivalry. On that note, it must be asked, is there such a thing? An example of such a character can be found in the Robin Hood stories in the shape of Friar Tuck. One of Robin's oldest supporters in terms of the literature, he has remained one of the most enduring figures, appearing in plays, novels, short stories, films, and so on. There's also Merlin, who, though a wizard and a prophet in the old Arthuriana legends, still plays the role of a priestly magician archetype alongside Friar Tuck. In some versions, such as Sam Neill, he's a sword-wielding badass. In others, he's just a doddering old man tasked with mentoring Arthur. The truth is, he's no less a monk in some ways, as he typically, even when he has a love interest, chooses Arthur over her, becoming something of a monk or a priestly character. Sam Neill's character, again, fits this trope. There's also the story of Ivanhoe, though in this case, the Jewish father of Rachel fits to an extent the archetype a little more, being helpless, priestly, and helping to have trained Rachel in the art of healing. When offered money, he refuses on account of considering it Ivanhoe's for having saved him. If this sounds like a study of the magician archetype of male sexuality, the truth is that one cannot discuss monastic chivalry without exploring this archetype. The truth of the matter is that the monk is often the one who plays mentor to the hero. Be he a brigand, Robin, a messianic Celtic king, Arthur, or a master builder or two, Tom and Jack, his is an integral role in the literature and in art, as it is he who conveys to the hero the teachings and secrets of the divine, the old wisdom. Heck, Gandalf falls into this role, being more monk and wayfaring priest than wizard in some ways. But all this aside, this brings me to the next part in this topic. Just what is monastic chivalry? In a way, I think it has not only to do with mentoring the Messiah or mentoring the hero, as one might call the main lead in a story, but also him preserving the truth. Look at the Conan the Barbarian movie where Mako is the chronicler of Conan's story, or even Dragonheart where it is brother Gilbert who recounts the tale of Bowen, Kara, and Draco. They are the preservers of the truth, married to veracity. The monk must pass down to the next generation the truth, doing what journalists out but don't always do. It is they who did this for millennia in Europe and Asia, and even at times Africa, faithfully and loyally. In literature, what this means is that the truth must never be compromised, must never be tarnished, and must never be tainted. Incredibly hard for humans, or any other race in fantasy fiction if you're writing fantasy. Unarmed and oftentimes defenseless hero is at his most interesting when he has little more than a pen. No magic, no light magic, and nothing but his heart on his sleeve and a steely dedication to what is right. What's also noteworthy is it is often this archetype playing father and passing down the code of honor to the next generation. In Superman, we have Jonathan Kent, not a priest, but still a dad, passing down the ideals of truth, justice, and the American way to Clark. In King Arthur, we have Merlin. In Dragonheart, we the audience have Gilbert, and Bowen has Draco. But in Lord of the Rings, we strikingly have Gandalf, passing along the quest to destroy the One Ring to Frodo and his friends, but also the teachings not to throw the first stone and judge Gollum. What is more is that it is Gandalf who teaches, if subtly so, Aragorn to become the king he is meant to be in the book, casting aside his doubts and guiding him towards his mission. In Conan, it is the priest Hadrathus who teaches him of the heart of Ahriman and helps him to figure out how to defeat Zaltutun. and rescue the beautiful Zenobia. What is interesting is that Hadrathis, also using the Heart of Ahriman, previously abused by those of wicked intent, ends up destroying Zaltatun and casting him back into hell. Notice something? At no point is there an alliance between good and evil. At no point does the monk mentor the hero to do so, nor does he allow himself to do so. You cannot threaten, you cannot bargain, you cannot trick the monk into swearing himself to evil. The truth behind monastic chivalry is that he is an agent of truth in a deceitful world, full of evil, one that is fallen in nature, and that would taint all that is good. If ever there was an anti-postmodern figure more than any other, it is the likes of Prior Philip, denouncing the sort of bargain Bishop Waleran preaches, because ultimately, evil must devour all that is around it. That is the nature. But the thing about truth is that it always comes out, and it must. And the thing about good is that it is inextricably linked to truth. Now, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that like and that subscribe button, as though you were Sauron trying to smash Gil-galad into itty-bitty pieces.